Hey. What is that? Where? Is there a spider on me or something? The what? It's my green screen, man. It's a new technology. Oh my god, no audio.
Microphone Yeti. Hello. All right. Are we back? Can you hear me and John?
Hello, testing, KP, JG.
Genwell says, am I slow? He's asking if I'm slow. He says Chelsea are super active. They've signed 2 teams worth of youth squads.
Welcome to the Slow Club. We are the Slow Club.
I don't know. Why are you asking? Why are you asking if I'm slow? Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh man, 2 weeks to go, man.
I'm lightning quick, man. What are you talking about? I'm going to bring them up. I'm going to bring up the transfers so far so everyone can see. Yeah, well, it is. It's 2 weeks to go. It's good now, Genwell says. All good. Avery says hello. Jamar says hello to Chris and KP. It's not Chris, it's John.
I am Chris. We come in 2 forms.
He does come in 2 forms. I've got all the teams. What's Genwell talking about? I've got all the teams' transfers. All Chelsea's transfers. The youth transfer things don't count, man. That's like Man United. We've signed Cheeto, and no one is talking about that as a signing. Youth transfers don't count. Have they signed anyone for their first team, Chelsea? Besides the keeper. The keeper. Is that it?
I got no idea. Yeah, they signed a keeper.
Jorgensen. That's it. We'll talk about that in a second anyway. Jorgensen, I think they've signed. Chris is in the chat. He says hello. No, it's just a troll. It's just Chelsea, you know. Oh yeah, Chelsea are terrible, man. We hate Chelsea. We're like the Chelsea haters.
Yes, there's a bit of hatred towards Chelsea on this show. Yes.
We do. All right. Before we'll get into it, we'll talk about a few of the big teams and their transfers. From, I think United have signed 2 players. Arsenal have signed a couple.
3 players.
3 players, exactly. Arsenal have signed a couple if you include Raya, but he was there last year. Liverpool have signed no one. We'll talk about that. Chelsea have obviously signed a lot of youth people like Genwell's talking about. But we'll talk about it all. But what's been your take on it so far, man? United was. What's your take on United's transfer so far?
Oh, gone United straight up. I'm quite happy with the first 3 signings that we've done. I'm really excited about the young 16-year-old from Arsenal, Childo, Obi Martin.
Are we gonna call him Childo, even though it's not Childo? We got to call him
Childo.
He's Childo.
Excited about him. Excited about Zersky as well. He looks like a massive unit. He's going to offer us something different up front. And yeah, I'm really excited about Yoro. You know, they're calling him the next Varane, you know, the next wonder kid for the centre back position. Unfortunately, he's now injured for the next few months, but I think United's done good business so far. See who they get. There's a lot of whispers and a couple of players coming in, but we can talk about that later.
Well, Genwell says, I don't know if you agree, but I guess it's safe to say we're signing Mazraoui and De Ligt. I don't know, man. They've been saying it for a long time. From what I know, I don't think John is too happy with De Ligt, but I want De Ligt. I think Man United, I want him because if we don't get De Ligt, we're playing Lindelof and Maguire with Martinez until Euro's back. And listen, at this point, De Ligt is a better player than Euro. And people forget he's only 24. It just seems like he's been around for a long time, I think. But I want De Ligt. Mazraoui, I don't know, man. A couple years ago, he was the hottest thing going around. He was meant to be the best right back going around. Bayern got him. It didn't work out. I don't know if that's because of injuries. I don't know if Man United have done their due diligence there. I don't know much about that. He still played a bit last year. I don't know what's going on there, but I think they're going for him because he can play right back and left back. So I don't know. Genwell says he's better than Kanate. For sure. De Ligt. Listen, I watched the Man United Liverpool game. The scoreline wasn't good, but yeah. I just think it wasn't good because we didn't take our chances and we played a game with Maguire and Lindelof. Maguire got creamed for the first goal. What else? It was, we're playing a lot of youngsters, but I don't know, it's pre-season.
Yeah, I mean, going on the De Ligt thing, the only things, the red flags that stand out for me are, he's been to a few clubs already. I don't know why it hasn't worked out for him at Juve or Bayern. He's got a bit of injuries, hasn't played a full season in a couple seasons. I mean, if we'll get him the Matthias De Ligt from Ajax, that De Ligt, then I'll be all psyched. But I think he's regressed since that, to be honest. And, just worried that we're going to get another injury-prone player. And I think that Mazraoui, that right back, I think that's even worse signing than this one. I think that's, we're going on a player that was good 2 years ago. Now he's just riddled with injuries. Couldn't even, do half a season last year. So I just don't know where United's thinking they can just bring the best out of a player, hope for the best for injury's sake, because, our injury list is what killed us last season. And I just think they need to do the due diligence and just get players that are healthy and ready to go.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't know. Listen, I'm all for the De Ligt one. I don't know about the Mazraoui. Like I said, I'm a bit the same. Bit unsure about that one. Paul says, KP, I've seen a few people buy new Football South Australia clothing and have custom names printed on the soccer clothing at the West Beach Parks. There you go. They sell racks and racks. I like it. Casemiro got creamed for the first one. I actually think Casemiro's played well in pre-season, but everyone's got different. I don't know.
He looks fit. I just don't know if he's just naturally lost that yard of pace now. So it's going to be interesting with Casemiro this season. I think I really do.
I know he looks more. To be honest, I think he looks more trim than last year. So I don't know if he was carrying a bit of weight last year. If that didn't help him. It could have been because of injuries. I'm not sure. He got, a bit run into the ground. He was playing centre back and shit. I don't know.
I think Casemiro is a better footballer than Ugarte, but it's just Ugarte is younger and stronger now. And
100%.
And the Ugarte one, I'm not too sure, man. Like, yes, he's a good breaking up play guy, and he's really fierce. He's a good tackler. I mean, if that's what United just want as a player, that's fine. But if you want a bowler, he's not a bowler. So,
I think they want that because they've got Bruno, Mount, still got Ericsson. They've got all these ball players. They don't have a player that, besides Casemiro, who can't play every game if he stays, they don't have a player to break up play. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
why don't you get Kante, man? He looked good in the Euros. Where's he playing?
He's in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, forget about it.
He's in Saudi. He is. But anyway, that's the United news. Reborn's in the chat. He says, wild. We'll bring up Reborn's team. We can talk about it for a little bit. To me, this is a bit of a shock. New manager. Liverpool haven't signed a player. I don't know. What does that... I'm sure they're going to, but they've let Joel Matip go on released. Thiago, we knew, gone, released. Adrian, the goalkeeper, released. Few youngsters loaned out, but they haven't signed a player. I agree with Reborn. He said yet. I'm sure they're going to, but man, it's 2 weeks to the season, isn't it?
I think Liverpool's team is a fairly good one right now, and they're waiting for like the end of August bargains. You know what I mean? They're playing it smart. They don't necessarily need a ready-made player before the season starts. They've got a good enough team to hit the season up and running, and they can sort of wait for that later in the month transfer bargains to come up. More teams desperate to sell by then, and they, get them one or two good players for a decent price.
Reborn reckons we need a DM. Well, they've got Endo. I mean, McAllister is not a DM. I think they tried that. It didn't work. He's more of a number 8. He still hasn't played yet because of Copa America. I don't know. They got a good team. They looked sharp against us. They get another good year out of Salah, I think, and then whatever, as he go on a free, I don't know what. If they can get another 25-plus goal season out of him, the only thing I think that they're lacking, a DM, and I think they're lacking the goals, because they're going to rely on Nunes again, who can't hit a barn door. Can Slot get the best out of him? I don't know. But, I don't know. I'd go for a striker if I was them, unless they're going to put Gakpo there. Like, now with the new Dutch manager, Gakpo did good in the Euros again. I'm not sure. Don't know. Well, that can take us, since it's in the alphabetical order I got here with the transfers, that can take us to the champions. They've signed one player who was already their player because he was playing for one of their teams, Savino. That's it. It's all Man City have signed as well. So a winger. They've signed a winger.
I mean, you just, what do you do with Man City? Just add another luxury player here and there, you know what I mean? So they've got a good youth setup. They've got some young players coming through, and they've got a great team as it is. So Man City don't have to do much business. I mean, if they want to move some players on that are getting on, that maybe, I think De Bruyne is going to be a bit part player this season for them. But yeah, look, they're going into this the favourites in my eyes, and they just add a bit of luxury towards their team.
Well, why are you going to say that for, man?
Well, that's just true, man.
What?
It sucks. We need Pep Guardiola to leave Man City, man. The whole Premier League does.
The thing is, even if he leaves, they're still going to get a manager. Whoever comes in is still going to have the best squad.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes you need a manager like Pep to, Pep, Fergie, Wenger, some good managers to keep consistently winning. Though, you know what I mean. Even with a good team, you sort of need that great manager as well.
Yeah, I agree.
We've seen like in England, they've got a great team in the Euros, but you had a shit manager, and look what happens.
Who was their manager again?
I know, some South guy.
Some guy that missed a penalty in Euro 96. Genwell says, is Edison still leaving? Listen, there's been links of him to Saudi. I wouldn't sell him. Their keeper that played against us, unless they're going to replace him, if he's going to go into the season with that, what's his name? I forget his name. The one that played in the FA Cup final. He's crap. Ortega. That's his name. Ortega. He's
A lot of people
don't
calling
like
him
him.
the best number 2 in the league. So.
He might be the best number 2, but would he be the best number 1? That's the
Yeah, it's 50-50. Edison. He's gone a Saudi links, is it?
something like that.
Yeah, so I'm not even sure how old Edison is right now. So,
Do you remember when we had Romero? That it was saying he's the best number 2 in the league, right?
yeah,
But I would never have put him in ahead of De Gea. Just because he's the best number 2 doesn't mean he's.
no, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, and you think of keepers that are available right now for Man City to go and get. You couldn't get Donnarumma right now. You couldn't.
Could they get the Portugal one? What's his name? Costa, that everyone likes? Maybe, I don't know.
Cost them a lot of money to get him in, but is that Lopez? What's his name? No,
Costa.
Costa. Yeah, Costa. Yeah, that's who I wanted instead of Ronaldo. But anyway,
That's who every Man United fan wants.
yeah, that's going to cost you at least 70-odd million pounds for sure. So you're going to have to spend money to get the best in. So maybe Man City got the money; they can do it if they really want to. But I think they're going to.
Yeah. Reborn said he's an interesting one. Reborn, the Georgian keeper. Yeah, he's good too. I forget his name, but do you go from Edison to that guy? Like Edison is top 3. Let's just say, not for whatever argument's sake, he's top 5 keeper in the world. Like hands, you know what I mean?
One of the top distributors in the world as well. So
it's the best distributor.
Pep would want a keeper that can really play with his feet. So, but they're not easy to find. So, I don't think Pep would want to change the keeper, but yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, I wouldn't get rid of him, but I'd be happy if they did as a United fan. But we'll talk a bit about the team that everyone thinks can push Man City. They pushed them last year. Arsenal, they've signed Raya, we said, but they already had him, so he's confirmed transfer now, not a loan. And they've signed Califordi, and they've signed Setford from Ajax. I don't know if he's a youth player or not. And another guy, Nygaard, he must be a youngster, but. Listen, Califordi looked good in the Euros. I mean, he played for Bologna. They made Champions League. Is he there to be a number 3? I don't know, because Gabriel and Saliba had the best defense in the league last year. But I guess that's good. You need 4 centre-backs, I think, that can play all the time. So good signing. I think the keeper thing is good. I mean, I don't think they let go of, what's his name? He'd be the best number 2, wouldn't he? Ramsdale? He's pretty good.
Arsenal doing business quite well. They're strengthening their defence. He might not be in the top 2 back there, but he's a hell of a number 3 if you got him for that role.
Oh, yeah.
So Arsenal really strengthened the squad. Like, obviously, you need a big squad to challenge for the league these days. So, yeah, Arsenal doing that, and they're putting quality in their squads. So they're going to be right up there this season, one of the main contenders for the Premier League. And their season, their transfer window is not closed yet either. So
that's right.
Yeah, Arsenal looking scary, and they look like they could finish over 1 or 2 again this year.
They've also got what's his name that missed the whole season. I watched him against us. He was pretty good. Timber. So they've got. Jurian Timber, they got Timber, Califordi, Gabriel, Saliba that can all play. That's pretty good. That's. I mean, they're arguably all 4 of them are better than all of our centre backs, bar Martinez. Let's say.
Yeah, and apparently Timber can play either side of the.
Oh, he's good, man. Timber's good.
You can play centre back if you really want him to. So, very versatile player, that one.
Reborn reckons. Ask John. John was a goalkeeper, so I'll ask him: should Ramsdale leave? And where do you think he'd go?
I'm trying to think of a Premier League club.
I'd say Newcastle, because Newcastle got Pope, but he's not very good with. He's not good with his feet. He's a real good shot stopper. Yeah,
I mean, if I was Newcastle and I had Pope, I'd probably take Ramsdale for sure. So that's not a good call. That's a pretty good call. But I'm not sure if you want to stick around and fight for your spot in a Premier League contended side, or you just want to go play football somewhere else. So it's up to Ramsdale, and he'll have to talk to the club about that one. And me personally, I wouldn't want to be number 2.
No, it's obviously blatant that Arteta wants Raya, so that's, I don't know. I'll tell you what, man, your boys that you're not allowed to use in Football Manager this year have signed so many players I couldn't even read it. If I count it, I'll tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 transfers in for Southampton, and they've released a lot as well, but they obviously want to try to stay up. Listen, we don't know much about them because they're team coming up, but I'll tell you one transfer I'm real shocked about. I was really shocked about this. They obviously made Champions League last year, Aston Villa, but Douglas Luiz leaving to go to Juventus. I was real shocked about that. I think I don't know if that works out good, but they brought in Ross Barkley from Luton, who did have a good year at Luton and is a good player when he's going. They signed that Ian Matson from Chelsea, who's meant to be another killer youngster. That Chelsea somehow they just get all this money for these youngsters, and then we sell a player and we sell him for like a pack of crisps or something. Like they bought Onana as well from Everton, so they bought in midfielders. So maybe the Douglas Luiz thing, they probably bought in 2 players for the price they got for Luiz. So, but what do you think about Villa, man? Can they do anything? Could they make top 4 again? And what could they do in the Champions League? What do you think?
I'm not sure about the Champions League, but I do think they're a top 4 contender again. Yes, they lost Luiz, but I think they've strengthened as well with Onana and the other bloke. But yeah, look, they got a good squad.
What did I say his name was again? Barkley and and Matson. They've signed a few.
He had a bit of experience with the squad there, and he'll be more like a squad player, rotational as well. Yeah, man. Look, I always compare lately. I've been comparing Villa's team to United, and I put them next to each other, and I see those two just fighting it out for that number 4. So they can definitely make top 4 again. They've got a well-established striker in Ollie Watkins there. They've got wingers. They've got good fullbacks. They've got obviously some good midfielders. And they got a solid defence, So, and Emery's doing wonderful things there for Villa. So, yeah, maybe the European football might hinder their Premier League because they haven't, been in the Champions League all that often. So that's going to be interesting to see.
He's a good manager in Europe, though. He's really good European manager.
Yeah. So, Villa, they're doing things the right way, and Luiz obviously leaving as Juventus, it's a bigger club than Villa, unfortunately. So you got to take opportunities when they come.
Are they a bigger club though? Who's won more Champions Leagues?
I don't know. Well, maybe
Aston Villa have, I think.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the modern day, like
I'm only joking. They're definitely a bigger club. I'm sorry to the Villa fans, but Reborn agrees with you as long as Watkins can keep fit. Listen, he had a good Euro as well. Watkins, I personally think, I don't know what the English fans think. I think he was unlucky that Harry Kane is captain and he didn't get to play more because there were some games that Harry Kane was deplorable and, old mate Southgate wouldn't take him off and yeah, he's good, man, Watkins. Really good. I think they've got some good young strikers that don't really get a go because of Harry Kane, like Watkins. I mean, Tony's not young, but they got Solanke, scored 25 goals last year, didn't he, for Bournemouth?
Ripping season, man.
For Bournemouth. Like, that's crazy. So, yeah, I don't know. I agree. I think they can do pretty good. All right. The other one is Crystal Palace got rid of Michael Elise, man, to Bayern Munich, but they brought in an old Watford legend to replace him, Ismaila Sarr, back from, remember Sarr, the right winger? So they replaced him with Sarr.
Yeah.
They replaced him with Sarr. They were one of the most informed teams at the end of last year. Was it a new manager bounce? I don't know. Losing Elise, but bringing in Saar. They kept what's the other one? Eze. They kept Eze, so that's a big thing for them. I think Palace is going to be good. Personally, I mean, we'll do our predictions next week, but I reckon they sold Elise for how much, and they bought Saar for like probably half the price. So,
I mean, you'd rather Elise than Saar probably, but you have replaced him, I guess. Saar's a very quick player. Elise, yeah, that's a big talent loss for them. But
I wish United got him.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the problem when you got a release clause on a player. Big clubs come sniffing around. So, Crystal Palace. Yeah, not too sure, man. We'll do our predictions next week, obviously. But look, I wouldn't say they're a relegation battling squad.
Nah, no way.
So Crystal Palace, but I don't see them winning anything at the same time. So we'll see how they go throughout the season.
Reborn says on what I was talking about, he said, I'll read it word for word, man. Ban me if you want. He says, man, fuck Harry Kane. Had his 15 minutes, ruined his career going to Germany. He's had it way too easy over there.
Didn't win a league.
He's cursed, eh? He's got to be, man. Like, yeah, I don't know. I agree with Reborn. You know what? I think you go there and it has been easy for him. I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk about Genwell said. We'll talk about Big Ange. We'll talk about Tottenham. Tottenham got a real big coup, man. They brought in Archie Gray, youngster from Leeds, who's meant to be like, listen, I haven't seen him much, but he's meant to be next level. So that's a big signing for them. And then they brought Timo Werner back in as well. They've had they got rid of Højbjerg. They got rid of Sessegnon, went back to Fulham. Tanganga got released. Eric Dyer released. Perisic released. What's his name? Genwell says that Korean wonder kid. I can't find that here. They got Bergvall, Gray, but apparently they're meant to get this Korean wonder kid as well. So Ange is going for a bit of youth, I think. Tottenham 5th last year. Yeah, listen, I don't know. They didn't finish the season well, man. I hope for Ange's sake he can get some form together, but they are good signings. And from what I know, they're trying to get a few more. So
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of whispers with them and Ivan Toney I've read about. If they can manage to pull off Toney, I feel that team is screaming out for just a good number 9, and they can really kick on. So if he could pull it off, if they can somehow get Toney to that club, I think Tottenham will look pretty good next year. And so look, it's still got nearly a month of transfer window to go. You never know who goes where in the last few weeks. So yeah, Tottenham's still got plenty of time to strengthen that number 9 position. And I don't think Timo Werner is the answer to that number 9.
No. Well, Ange plays him on the wing anyway. He doesn't play him up front, so he puts him on the wing. But I'd go for Toney.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, Son's good. I mean, I'd go for Toney if I... Toney, Solanke. Why can't they go for Solanke? One of them,
Yeah, I mean, either or. Solanke would be good. Personally, I'd go for Toney, but Solanke would be a good one too.
I'm thinking money wise, I don't know. They could do something. So
Bournemouth would want at least 50, 60.
Both of them, unfortunately, will get the English tax. But who else did we talk about? Newcastle haven't brought in much from what I can see here. So there's not. They've brought in like a few names. Lewis Hall from Chelsea. Ruddy, I think a keeper from Birmingham, like a reserve keeper. Kelly from Bournemouth. Nothing major so far, but are they battling FFP? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just so funny how the richest club in the world can't spend their money.
I think it's a big year for Eddie Howe, man.
See, Man City all those years ago, they didn't have these FFP things, so they just went crazy straight off the bat. So
100%. Same with
if
Chelsea.
it was the same way for Newcastle right now, we would have seen signing after signing with Newcastle.
Oh,
But
if there was the same as when West Ham when Abramovich or City took over, Newcastle would be,
yeah, they would
mate.
just go, yep, come. They'll just have like a super
Everyone
team.
would have just said, "See ya, man. There's nothing we can do about this."
So
Yeah,
yeah,
they're trying to offload Gordon. I heard is in big talks for Liverpool. Reborn said that there, Gordon. I don't know if that's true,
well, I thought
but
it was silly that they took Gordon instead of Rashford and Grealish to the Euros.
100%. I don't care the season. I don't care the season Rashford had.
I mean, Gordon had a
I'd
good
rather
season.
pick him. Yeah, but I don't care. I'd rather Rashford in a one-game situation over Gordon.
Not even
Because that's what the
Grealish.
Euros are. Yeah, Grealish as well.
Yeah. Anyway, they took
I don't
Gordon. I mean, he got to the final, I guess. What can I say? He lost it.
He's a boyhood Liverpool fan. Apparently, Reborn says, well, he is from Liverpool because he played for Everton, so it wouldn't surprise me. Genwell says Isaac staying would be a big coup for Newcastle. I agree. I'd love Isaac. I would love him.
Yeah, he's
The guy's class, man. He's class.
Yeah, he's getting better and better.
Genwell says, I would have picked Maguire because it's Maguire for England, but hey, Euros. Yeah, but he was injured. Maguire would have went, but he was legit injured.
He was injured, yeah. I think if he was fit, Southgate would have played him. So
yeah, but do you think they would have done as good? Because Gahey played wicked.
Yeah, well, look, Gay's stock risen from playing in the Euros, that's for sure. He played well and he did his part, and you can see him moving to a big club in the future. Maybe not this season, but maybe next season. Watch out for him for a move.
And then Genwell says, but fucking Southgate picked Shaw. You know what cracked me up about that thing?
Everyone hates Southgate.
No, but you know what cracked me up about it? He picked Luke Shaw, and I get it. He's their best left back, but he was injured. But fuck me, man. Take another left back as well. So until Luke Shaw's fit, you've actually got a left back playing left fullback. You know what I mean? Like,
my worst nightmare is that Southgate's going to be manager of Man United one day.
I know that's why I don't want Ten Hag to do bad. I'm glad Rude's there, just in case Ten Hag does bad, because I think he'd get the job. So, but yeah, I agree. Like, the guy's cooked. I'd hate to have him as my manager, but he's terrible. He's never done anything for a club anyway. But it's a media push, Genwell says.
Yeah, okay.
And Genwell says, I've got a bitter taste on Luke Shaw now. Well, you reckon a lot of people, there's a lot of United fans. Listen,
is he a Liverpool fan?
United.
Oh, United.
Listen, there's a lot of United fans that have never liked Luke Shaw.
We used to call him Fatty.
Yeah, and the second something happens where they can go at him like this, like they can say, oh, he picked England over United. But listen, was it coincidental that he got fit? No one knows but him.
Well, I think that's
but he still wasn't fit. He still wasn't fit 4 weeks in, bro, to the Euros. So I don't think he picked England over United.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where United should be. One of their transfer targets, number one targets from here till end of August, is the left back position. And I'm surprised that they want to get a hybrid that can just play both. I think they should just focus on a sole left back. But I mean, we've got football guys there now. We've hired a whole new football team to do our decisions up there. So hopefully they know what they're doing. So.
But is them not going for one saying that maybe Malacia's going to be back? Because the way I've seen it with him is where I've never even heard what the injury is.
I don't know. It's just I feel like Man United like to gamble and they like to look. Let's just hope that Luke Shaw, we can get a season out of him. Let's just hope Malacia can get back to fitness. It's a lot of hope that these players will be available. I mean, if those two aren't available, and then you get this this player from
Mazraoui,
who's just injury prone himself, you're going to find yourself in a thing where, okay, you've sold one Basaka because you've to fund this guy, and now you just got Delo and maybe a 17-year-old Amas, and or you're putting Lindelofs there, you know what I mean, and it just ruins your whole season. So for me, I'll be looking at a left back. There's lots of left backs in the world, man. Surely you can find one.
100% there is.
Yeah.
Genwell says it's a bit of a bright light because of what Amas has shown. Listen, Amas is going to be good. But me and John have talked about he's 17.
That's the thing. As a 17-year-old in that type of position, you're going to come against the best wingers in the world. You know what I mean? So
he's coming against Mo Salah, Bernardo Silva, like all these blokes.
Yeah. So, man, if he's ready, he's ready. But 17, you could put a 17-year-old up front or on the wings more because
100%.
It's a bit more safer. But as a fullback, you got to hope they're on their game, man.
The problem with that is, say you put him in, it goes well for a month, I don't know, and then let's just say Mo Salah creams him. That's like a career ruiner. Like he could just go complete the other way because he's a kid. Is the unfortunate thing, but
still in school, man. So.
Yeah, like he's got to go do his homework, bro. Like he's a kid, man. You know what I mean? But.
I want him to play. Don't get me wrong. I love young players coming through. I want it 100%. But yeah, I think he's.
Listen, if it was me and John on Football Manager, he'd be playing. But
yeah, we're an under 21s team, man.
Under 21s. Chris wrote in here. He reckons that we should do FM watch-alongs. I think he means like gaming FM because I said to him we were going to do it. We're going to do it on the new one. Don't worry.
Oh my God, it's a lot of emotions on that. So
people be giving us
it'll be an R-rated show, man. So.
Oh yeah. Reborn says like Yamal in the Euros. Yeah, but I think John hit the nail on the head with Yamal. Like
he's a winger,
attacking player. You know, you're not going to go put a 16-year-old centre back in the Euro. I don't think anyway. But speaking of Football Manager, he says
it has been done before. It's rare, but yeah.
Chris says maybe a members only show. No, we'll do it. We'll do it live, but you'll get to see the true KP and Johnny. I'm telling you, because we'll be like, there'll be moments where we're going. Football Manager gets you revving, man. But Genwell says, speaking of Football Manager, let's speak about Chelsea. I'll bring up Chelsea. I'll tell you. All right. We talked a bit about them before, but they brought in Dewsbury Hall from Leicester. I'm guessing that's because Maresca's there. They brought in the goalkeeper, Jorgensen. All these other ones I've never really heard of. Wiley, Vega. They brought some youngster from Barcelona, Gui. I don't know much about him. Kellerman from Villa. He's another youngster, I think, as well. They brought in that Tosin from Fulham, that Man United were looking at, the centre-back. On a free transfer, so Thiago Silva gone finally at the ripe old age of 74. He's gone. Ziyech gone. Maatsen, we said, went to Villa. Yeah, they've done a bit, but not much. If that makes sense, I don't know. It's Reborn's laughing 74.
Chelsea's just a weird one. I feel like they're just the most erratic team in the Premier League. You know what I mean? They were pretty bad all season, but they were coming good at the end of the season last year. They were coming good.
So good, man.
And then they're like, okay, instead of keep going on this momentum, let's sack the coach and go wild and get these youngsters. You know what I mean? It just feels like they can never stay on their road. You know what I mean? They go, okay, seem to be on a cruisy road now. They just want to go through the bushes or some shit. You know what I mean?
So they're cooked, man.
So they're trying to get there fast somehow. But look, I don't know about Chelsea. They remind me of the Bulldogs in the AFL. You don't know what's going to show up. So,
even the signings like Jorgensen, okay, a keeper. Is he that much better than Sanchez and that? I don't know. Dewsbury Hall from Leicester.
There's a lot of talk that they're trying to get that good striker from Napoli.
Yeah, Osimhen.
They want Osimhen. If they manage to pull off Osimhen, I'll be like, okay, that's a signing. So
Dewsbury Hall from Leicester. What? Because Maresca came from Leicester, you go sign. He was playing Championship last year.
I mean, Chelsea signed people just to loan them out. That's what they do. So I don't know what they're doing, man. So
I don't know, man. To be honest, if I'm a Chelsea fan, and by no means am I would have preferred Pochettino than Maresca.
look, you started coming good results towards the end of last season, and you just started to part ways. I don't know if he wanted to leave or they sacked him. I'm not exactly sure, but I understand if he wanted to go. But if you guys sacked him, you should just give him one more season. He only had one season, with a young team. So it was coming good towards the end of the season. You said, okay, no worries. We saw in the last, month of football, we started to come together. Let's continue on to the next year and give you another opportunity. So, but that didn't happen. Got a whole new manager. They've got players coming in and out everywhere. And, I feel like it's just a mess at Chelsea all the time. So
it's weird, man.
Yeah.
Childo is in the chat. He says, hello. How are you? Chris C says, is the civil unrest in the UK going to affect the EPL?
Well, there's a lot of protesting going on. I'm not sure what about. Like,
what?
What
are you asking us? We're not going to know. We don't even know what you're talking about.
We're not really up to date with politics, but I did see something about some crazy riots or protesting going on in London, I think. So
I highly doubt that affect. Listen, the only thing I've ever seen affect the English Premier League in my whole life was COVID. And that took its time to get games stopped as well. So,
and before that, it wasn't even in our time. It was the war, I think.
Yeah, exactly. The last thing that ever made the soccer stop before COVID was World War II. So, listen, I don't know. It's
and we still played in COVID. We're just behind closed doors. So.
It's racism being against migrants, KP. Yeah, listen, I don't know, man. We don't usually talk politics here, man. We try not to.
Well, apparently, most of London's population aren't even Brits.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I don't know. Listen, if it does, it does. I'm sure. Anything to do with racism is a big thing, but I don't know. Like I said, we don't want to talk politics here. We're here for the football.
Just say no to racism. That's it.
That's it. No to racism. I'm all for that. All right. Before we go, we know next week is going to be our prediction show, so we've gone a bit of a shorter show this week, but there is one thing we can quickly talk about. We'll get our predictions in for it because we won't be live till next Monday. The curtain raiser to the Premier League will be this weekend. Replay of the FA Cup final. United, City. What's happening? What's happening, man?
I mean, I think it's worse for us for United to lose this. So United win on penalties.
Penalties? We're pretty good at penalties too, I reckon.
Yeah, we'll get it to penalties, I reckon it will win.
I'm trying to think that the thing is, is Martinez going to play? Is Bruno going to play? Like, are they back? Are they going to play? They're going to have to get game time in them before the season, aren't they?
So that's the thing. Both clubs have played a lot of youngsters on their preseason tour, and they're sort of meeting their experienced players who are just starting their week's training, I think, this week or.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So most of both teams' experienced players who played in the Euros have just started training. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's just pretty much be a glorified friendly this weekend with a cup at the end. So look, this game won't mean anything. Win or lose, to me, it doesn't mean anything. So, but I want us to play well. I don't want us to get smashed. But I think City and United are in the same sort of boat where they're going to be both rusty in this game. So.
I'm like you. I always say now, Charity Shield. It's like, I don't care. It's a friendly. That's because gone are the days where we used to actually win them.
And we'll be swearing at the TV when we lose.
Oh yeah. Do you remember that? Remember that Charity Shield? I remember that Charity Shield when we signed Nanny Anderson and all that, and I think Nanny scored, and we were like, oh my god, like loving it. Like this is the best. Those days are just gone.
They're gone. All right, man.
They're gone. Listen, I don't know. Luke Shaw played in the final, so I get, and Kobe Mainu, I get. So they're a bit delayed. They played in the final. But Portugal didn't, mate. What'd they make? Quarters? I don't think they went past the quarters. Bruno should be back.
He's in training.
He's in training. He has to be back. So he should play. He should play because he needs legs in before round one. Like I said, I don't know about Mainu and Shaw, but do we have signings by then? Listen, if Martinez won the Copa, so is he going to play? I don't know.
Sure.
Probably not.
I've got a feeling Evans will play with Maguire, maybe.
What if we've signed De Ligt by then? That's what I'm saying. But the thing is, we might have signed someone by then, and they got to play, don't they? They need game time.
A lot of people calling De Ligt the Dutch Maguire.
That's terrible. But Maguire's he's already done more than Maguire's done in his whole career at 24. So.
Am I the only one that doesn't want this signing? I feel like I am.
No, I want De Ligt. De Ligt I want. I'm with you with the Mazraoui one. I don't know. Listen, but I got to back your team. But the De Ligt one I want because I just don't want Lindelof and Maguire playing. So.
I mean, I would take De Ligt over those players.
Oh, yeah, that's true, Genwall. We didn't talk about that. I heard that Arsenal are in for him. Julian Alvarez, about leaving City. He probably wants to leave because he knows he's not going to play first team ahead of Haaland. I'd take it. I'd have Alvarez.
I remember a couple of weeks ago he came out with a statement pretty much saying that he wants to leave City. So, yeah, I mean, look, he's a great rotation striker for Pep, but, he's one of those players where he probably deserves to have that first team, regularly.
Dude, he started up front winning the World Cup. I don't know if he started in the Copa, but he started up front for Argentina and winning the World Cup. So, he's good, obviously. It's good that Martinez as well. Our Martinez had a good Copa America. He was probably him and Romero were amazing.
He's probably one of our most important players this season.
I listen. Don't listen to John. John hated Martinez. I'm truly with you. I think he's our most important player. I think if Martinez goes down like last year, we're done.
If you don't know me by now, I hate nearly everyone we sign normally until they prove themselves.
Hate him until he's killer. Hate him. Boston says, "Hey KP, what's good? How are you, Boston?"
But I do change my mind eventually. I'm not one of those stubborn people. So
listen, I'm 100% with you. I truly believe he's our most important player.
Yeah, if we lose him down back and we've got people like Maguire's and Lindelof playing, we've got Euro out, we're in that sort of trouble again where we can't play out of the back and we're just struggling with possession. So
Genwall says, "I'm sure John loved Rojo and hates Martinez." I loved Rojo. Rojo just used to double foot anyone. He didn't care. And at the time, it didn't matter. It was funny.
We've signed Rojo. If we sign people cheaply, I don't mind it. But if I start seeing big numbers, I start thinking, oh, God, you know what I mean? Is he worth that?
Don't lie, man. How much did we love Nani? We were in love with him.
Yeah, I loved him. He was one of my favorite players. Man.
Nani wasn't even a starter for us, and he's better than any winger we've got today.
Put it in perspective. Last year when we signed Onana, I was not excited. Who else did we sign last year? I wasn't excited. I hated the Mount signing.
Yeah, same.
Who else? I didn't mind Højlund, but I think we got ripped off. But that's what I was saying. So
yeah, I agree with that. I didn't mind that, but I think we got ripped off. Yeah.
Yeah. So look, and Martinez says I didn't want Martinez because I thought it was too small, but I was proved wrong. So.
Genwall says, "I guess we have to talk about it quickly, about Greenwood." Well, he's gone. We don't have to talk about it.
He had to go.
I think it was best for both parties. I think it's.
That guy, if he played for United, the amount of abuse he would have copped on and off the field was going to be next level. So, yeah. Yeah,
but was that last year? Was he last year, Reeves? He says, "What about Anthony? Wasn't it the year before?"
That was Anthony's second season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We hated him, man.
It's just been so shit for that long. You don't know how long he's been there.
Exactly.
And, his preseason tour just showed how shit he still is.
The thing about Greenwood is, Genwall, this is my honest opinion, and I've said this to John, off air. I think the 2 years off has hindered the absolute god of a player he could have been. I've said that to John. I think if all this stuff never happened, whatever happened, and he kept playing for those 2 years, the player he would be now, he'd be 10 times better than what he actually is, because he was a generational talent. The guy was unbelievable. The 2 years off, everything physically, mentally, what it's done to him, he's going to be a good player, but he's not going to be what he was going to be. You know what I mean? Like, he was, the hype around Kobe Mainu now, the hype around Greenwood was 10 times more than that. Like, he was going to be so good, and whatever happened he's not going to be that player anymore. So getting 30 million for him, I think it's best for both parties.
You could say the same about Malacia, you know what I mean? The time
exactly.
It's going to affect him as a footballer. So you step away from this level of football, in the world's best. It's hard to get it back, man. It's even hard to get it back in amateurs or normal leagues. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So it's going to be a big test for Malacia, and it's the right move for us for Greenwood.
Genwell goes, we got rid of Fred and replaced him with a spinning fidget spinner with Anthony. You know what? I still to this day disagree with the Fred sale. See you later, Boston. Thanks for coming in, man. You're a champion. I to this day disagree with the Fred sale. I don't know about you. I think don't you think we could have used him?
I love Fred, man.
I loved Fred.
Man. And the pirouettes.
The fidget spinner. He's a fidget spinner.
Oh, God, man. When he did that spin, bro, I was so embarrassed that day. I'm like,
he just did it for no reason. But he just did it for no reason. It wasn't to get out of trouble. It wasn't for anything. It was for no reason.
The funny thing is, the defender was just still there, standing there like, okay, what are you going to do?
He spun and the defender was like this. The defender was just like...
Embarrassing.
Boston says, once again, I'm sorry that your rival won and off to the Champions League. John goes for them, man. I don't go for them. John goes for Upwell.
I don't know anyone plays for him, but let's go.
If I ever went for Upwell, my dad would disown me. What can you do? Listen, it's one of those ones, that people say to me, they're like, aren't you happy because they're a Cypriot team? And I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not happy when Liverpool win.
Anthony would just got to kiss the £85 million goodbye.
Oh, he's terrible, man.
That's all it is. We ain't getting anything back for Anthony.
Chris C reckons, I go for Upwell, Boston says. It's all right, man. It doesn't bother me. It's...
Did me and Chris just go for the same team? Oh, my God.
Nah. Boston goes for Upwell. Chris C says, John looks like he's about to go on a heist. He looks like a GTA character.
I am. I'm ready to do some heisting.
He's ready. He's ready for it. Are we going to rob the fleecer, John? All right, guys. Thanks for coming in. It's been a real good show. First one back next week. Hopefully, we're here talking about Man United beating Man City in the Community Shield, and we will give our predictions. We'll get it up like last year, give our top 4, etc. We'll do our top 10, I reckon, and our relegation, and then I don't know, man. I got this bad feeling about John. Genwell, I don't think John agreed with that either, Genwell.
I'll save it for next week, but I have to warn you, 1 week of transfers could change my mind, and the Community Shield could change my mind. So,
Boston, don't do that in the chat. Yeah, it's all right to go for them, but don't write Forza Upwell. Far out. Settle down. That's
wild. We're an Upwell fan in the chat.
No, don't do that. That's terrible. That's terrible. Genwell, I don't think John agreed with that either, man. We talked about that. We probably should have kept him. About selling Fernandez, the left back, considering we don't have a left back now. So,
yeah, always question why we did that move. I always question it, but Man United doing Man United things. So,
yeah, 100%. But anyway, thanks, guys. We'll be back next week. I think the boys. I don't know if John is with them. Tomorrow they're going to be on for the footy.
Footy show on tomorrow night.
they'll be doing the footy show. I'm sure Chris is going to be happy. No one else is really happy because all of our other teams, Carlton lost, Crows lost.
I've been numb for months with the football, so
I've been numb since round 2 with the Crows. We've been terrible. Oh yeah. The fee is what I don't agree with. Genwell says 3 million. Yeah, but we sold Donny for like 4 million, and we bought him for how much?
Yeah, I know United will say, well, we've put this, 50% sell-on clause stuff.
Yeah, and then if he never plays again,
buyback, whatever.
Listen, I get it. I get they got 100 and something thousand pounds off the wage budget, but man, we're a career killer. When he came to us, he was playing for Holland. Real Madrid wanted him. He came to United, hasn't played for Holland since, and he got sold for 4 million to who? Sociedad or something?
I know. So as soon as he entered our doors, he was just super shit.
I know. But anyway, thanks a lot, guys. The boys will see you tomorrow. Me and Chris will see you Wednesday. I do believe, don't quote me, but I do believe Chris is doing a challenge before the podcast on Wednesday.
Oh my God. I want to see the pancakes.
Yeah. I don't know what challenge he's doing, but he's doing something Wednesday. And then I'm sure there'll be stuff back on the weekend as well. But thanks for coming in. Take it easy, guys.
Cheers.